Open world games often require a huge time commitment if you really want to explore the map and see everything the game has to offer. I don't know about anyone else, but I have limited time for gaming these days, and I often only choose to play games that I can enjoy with friends. The thrill of exploring an open world with other people is usually an amazing experience that you'll remember for many years. Some of my fondest memories are of playing games like Far Cry 4 in co-op. An even greater amount of people don't want to spend any money on these huge AAA open world titles, but luckily there are plenty of great options available on Steam for free. This list contains all types of open world games that are playable both solo and with a group of friends. I'm Jay from Keyboard Gaming, and these are the best free multiplayer open world games on Steam. Starting things off at number 10, we have Piratopia, a free-to-play, open-sea multiplayer adventure game with roguelike elements. Players can explore the vast seas alone or with a group of friends. You're free to loot and plunder all you want, and the game lets you fight against anybody on the server. The loot you gather can then be used to upgrade different weapons on the ship and pose a more significant threat to everyone else in the server. But you need to be careful, as dying will result in you losing some of your stuff. The best practice is always to level up your ship as soon as you can, so you're more likely to win battles against other pirates. Piratopia is a fun, top-down multiplayer game with a massive world that allows for some fun times, especially because of the voice chat. You can communicate with randoms in your server or team up against krakens and other pirates. If that premise sounds exciting to you, then you should definitely check out this game. If fighting off krakens and pirates isn't something you enjoy, then let's talk about Fishing Planet. This is perhaps one of the most advanced and realistic open-world fishing games on Steam, especially for free. If you are someone who loves to gather expensive reels and catch rare fish, all from the comfort of your PC, then this game is something that you'll probably enjoy. The developers created this game out of their own love for fishing, and they keep adding more content, including fish species, new locations, and new gear. The best part of the game is that it's completely free to play, allowing you to get a taste of things and decide whether it's worth your time. I know for a lot of people this game kind of sounds boring, but sometimes it's nice just to take a break from all the fast-paced games and just enjoy some virtual fishing. There are more than 25 distinct fishing locations in the game right now, with close to 200 different types of fish for you to catch. The fish AI is complex and can change their behavior based on different factors, like the season, weather, water depth, and how fast the current is. If you and your friends want to relax and play something that's not super fast-paced, then you'll probably enjoy Fishing Planet. Fans of the Star Wars franchise, Star Wars The Old Republic is a phenomenal open world game that immerses you in the world and gives you more lore to enjoy. The game gives players the opportunity to explore the Star Wars galaxy 3,000 years before the events of the original movies. You can play as a human or an alien race and build your character from the ground up. Choose to become a Jedi or a Sith and explore 20 massive planets, each brimming with quests to complete and characters to meet. Completing quests allows you to gather money and materials that can be traded in the game's marketplace or upgrade your equipment and ships for PvP and PvE encounters. If you're a Star Wars fan looking for an open world adventure, then Star Wars The Old Republic is one of the best games to play. Next up on the list is Albion Online, another MMORPG that offers an expansive open world for players to explore. Albion Online works like any other standard MMO, but has a few unique things going for it. Firstly, the game uses a classless system, allowing players to switch their playstyle by simply switching weapons. You don't need to respec your entire character just because you want to use a dual sword instead of a heavy sword. This type of flexibility and the fact that most of the content is player-driven is what makes this game an excellent open world offering. It's not just about exploring and farming resources, as players get to venture into dangerous dungeons where some really powerful bosses await your arrival. All of these activities make Albion Online an excellent choice for those looking for a free-to-play open-world MMO. The game Beached is a game that I've covered many times in other lists, and I thought it was perfect to include on this one. This open world, free-to-play game is about survival and PvP. It's essentially a low-poly clone of Rust, and even though it's in early access, it's being updated regularly. Your character wakes up on a beach, and you must look for resources to defend yourself from other players, animals, and the environment. Each server is allowed to have slightly different rules, which makes things interesting. You can browse these servers to find which one best suits your playstyle. Just like in similar games like Rust, the game is a constant struggle where players who get the better loot will have the upper hand during fights. One of the main reasons I enjoy this game is because of the lower poly art style. When I first started playing it, the game was pretty clunky in an early stage, and it still has some of that clunk factor built in, but now the game seems much more enjoyable and a lot more polished. If you like survival games, especially more hardcore survival games, Beach could be the perfect game for you to check out. Since we had an open world fishing game already on the list, I think it's fair to include the open world hunting simulator. The Hunter Classic used to be only available through a website and required a launcher to play. Now it's available on Steam as a free-to-play title where you can explore more than 12 reserves and hunt more than 40 species. Each reserve is quite big and serves as an open world where players can circle the map, make camp, and stalk their prey. Factors like daylight, animal fear state, wind direction, and weather play an important role in deciding when and where your prey will appear on the map. The ballistic mechanics and visuals are also very good. You can either play alone or with a group of up to 7 hunters. Aside from its paid counterpart, the Hunter Classic is probably one of the best hunting simulators ever made. At number 4, we have Unturned. This is basically a free-to-play fusion between DayZ, Minecraft, and Roblox. Unturned is probably on more of our lists than any other game, just because it's such a polished title. Unturned is a ton of fun with friends as you defeat zombies and form bonds with randos across the globe. You can build bases, scavenge towns, and drive vehicles. This is the kind of game that you can spend hundreds or even thousands of hours in if you enjoy it. If you really wanted to, you could set up a dedicated server to play with your friends, but I honestly think that fighting other people in PvP is one of the best reasons to play this game. If you want a good co-op open world game that doesn't take itself too seriously, then Unturned is a must-play game for you. Muck is a game that I saw on Steam for a long time, but for whatever reason I held off on playing it. When I finally did play it, I got so addicted to this thing that I put dozens of hours into it in a week. It's the type of game that you can either play with friends or single player and still have quite a bit of enjoyment. The game is fully roguelike, meaning you lose all your progress when you die, but that just makes beating the game even more satisfying because you know you overcame the odds. The game is fully free to play without any DLCs or pay to win elements, and I think it could have easily been a $10 to $15 game and people still would have been happy with it. I think it's great that a game this fun is free, and I really think everyone should give it a shot with their friends. After playing this game for the first time, it kind of gave me the same feeling as playing Minecraft for the first time years ago. So if you want an experience like that, then I definitely recommend giving Muck a shot. Destiny 2 is a game that appears on a lot of lists just because it's such a high quality game. A while back, they kind of screwed over their paid players by going free to play and getting rid of DLCs, and it's perfectly understandable if you're mad at Bungie for that, but I think the game is still a really fun game. And since the game is free, you can get a lot of enjoyment out of this game without spending any money. It's a first-person looter shooter, kind of like Borderlands, but more sci-fi and without all the quirky humor. The game has a fully fledged PvP community that a lot of people seem to enjoy as well. If you want to experience everything the game has to offer, then you may have to buy the DLCs, which honestly are pretty expensive, but technically you don't have to pay anything if you just want to do the free stuff. If you enjoy any sort of first-person shooter game, Destiny 2 is still a really solid option. And for number 1, we have the game Trove. Trove is an action-packed open-world multiplayer MMO with building and dungeon crawling mechanics. The game world is made of voxels and blocks similar to Minecraft, and every time I play this game, I'm surprised at just how massive the world is. The map is littered with these structures that look like they may have taken the devs hundreds of hours to create. There are so many different areas and biomes that you could play this game for thousands of hours very easily without getting bored. Looting dungeons allows you to get new experience and gear that lets your character become even more powerful. The combat in Trove is very satisfying and feels surprisingly good for how the game looks. Overall, if you want an MMO game sort of similar to Minecraft that you can play with friends, then definitely try out Trove. And that's gonna be it for the best free multiplayer open world games on Steam. If you thought this list was helpful, leave a like and subscribe to Cubold Gaming. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.